You know, right under our feet, there's a hidden empire. It's massive, it's complex, and it's thriving all around us. They build sprawling cities, they run farms, they even raise livestock. We're talking, of course, about the incredible world of ants. So let's pull back the curtain and take a look at the secrets of this unseen empire. To get a sense of just how massive this empire is, let's start with a number: 20 quadrillion. That's the estimated number of individual ants on Earth right now. I mean, that's a 20 with 15 zeros after it. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around, but their total weight is more than all the wild birds and mammals combined. They've colonized pretty much every single continent except Antarctica. This isn't just a successful species, it's a planetary powerhouse. So what's their secret? How did they become so successful? Well, it all comes down to this one powerful concept: the superorganism. See, an ant colony isn't just a bunch of bugs hanging out. It's much more like a single, unified being. Each ant acts like a cell in a body, all working together for the good of the whole. And to really understand how this superorganism works, we've got to go inside the colony. Think of it less like a bustling city and more like one enormous, highly efficient family, all with the exact same goal. At the very heart of this family, you've got two main players. First, there's the queen. She is literally the mother of every single ant in the colony, and her one and only job? Laying eggs, sometimes thousands in a single day. Then you have the workers. These are all her daughters, and they are the absolute lifeblood of the colony. They do everything else: build the nest, find all the food, and take care of their baby sisters. So what about the males? Well, they're called drones, and their job is very, very specific. They're around for the queen's nuptial flight, and once that's done, their part in the colony's story is pretty much over. And every single ant, no matter if it's a queen, a worker, or a drone, goes through these 4 stages. The first 3, the egg, larva, and pupa, are all together known as the brood. This is the colony's nursery, and the worker ants spend so much of their time carefully looking after these little ones. They are the future, after all. Now, you might be wondering, how do they coordinate everything without a boss yelling orders? The queen isn't a ruler, she's an egg layer. Well, the colony runs on this incredibly sophisticated communication network. They leave these invisible chemical trails called pheromones that can say anything from, "Hey, found some food over here," to "Watch out, danger." They also talk by touching their antennae, and they can even hear by feeling vibrations in the ground through their feet. It's a totally silent but amazingly effective system. This amazing level of communication allows for some truly mind-boggling teamwork. We're not just talking about generic workers here. Many ants have developed highly specialized jobs. You could even call them professions. Let's look at some of the wildest careers in the ant world. For starters, meet the leafcutter ant. Now, you might see them marching along, carrying little green flags of leaf, and think they're about to have a nice salad. But nope, that's not what's happening at all. These guys are actually some of the most skilled farmers on the planet. See, the ants themselves can't even digest the tough leaves they're carrying. So they take them deep underground, chew them up into a mushy pulp, and then use that pulp as compost to grow a very special kind of fungus. That fungus is the only thing the colony eats. They tend to their underground gardens with incredible care and then harvest these nutrient-packed bits of fungus to feed everyone. Then you've got the ranchers. Some ants have figured out how to keep their own livestock. They find colonies of little insects called aphids, and they protect them from predators, basically herding them like tiny cattle. And what do they get in return? Well, they milk the aphids for a super sweet, sugary liquid they produce called honeydew. It's a win-win. And if that wasn't enough, there are also the architects. Weaver ants love up in trees, and they build these amazing nests, sometimes as big as a soccer ball, not from dirt, but by weaving. They literally stitch living leaves together to build their homes. And the way they do it is just incredible. To pull 2 leaves together, workers will form living chains, grabbing onto one another to bridge the gap. But okay, how do they glue the leaves together? Adult ants can't make silk, so get this. They gently pick up their own babies, the larvae, which can produce silk, and use them like little glue guns, dabbing them back and forth to stitch the leaves into a strong, waterproof shelter. Unbelievable. So beyond these amazing jobs, the ant world is just full of specialists that are pushing the limits of what's possible. Let's take a quick tour of some of the true record breakers. Okay, check out this lineup. You've got the bullet ant from South America, which is famous for having the most painful sting around. Then there's the siafu, or army ants from Africa, whose colonies can have up to 20 million ants constantly on the march. And finally, the Saharan silver ant, which can survive in desert heat that would cook other creatures, thanks to its amazing, shiny, heat-reflecting body.
And just to give you an idea of the bullet ant's reputation, this is how people describe its sting. It's considered the single most painful insect sting in the entire world. A sting that powerful isn't for hunting. It's pure, last resort defense.
And when we talk about going to extremes, nothing really beats the Argentine ant. In Europe, they've formed a single massive supercolony that stretches for over 3,500 miles along the coast. Think about that. One colony, thousands of miles long, where every ant recognizes every other ant as family. But maybe one of the most bizarre and brilliant adaptations belongs to the honeypot ants. They live in really harsh deserts where food can be hard to come by, and they've come up with a pretty wild solution for storing it. Inside the colony, certain workers are chosen to become repletes. Other ants feed them so much nectar that their abdomens swell up to the size of a grape. They become living pantries. They then spend the rest of their lives just hanging from the ceiling of the nest, waiting for a hungry sister to come by for a sip. It's how the colony survives when there's nothing to eat outside. This kind of cooperation can literally be the difference between life and death. So let me ask you a question. What do you think happens when a fire ant colony, which nests in the ground, suddenly finds itself in the middle of a huge flood? They do this. They build a living raft. They all link up, grabbing each other with their jaws and claws to form this massive floating island of ants. Their bodies are naturally water repellent, which traps a layer of air around the raft. That trapped bubble not only helps them float, but it actually provides oxygen so that even the ants at the very bottom can breathe. And right in the middle, kept safe and dry, are the queen and all the colony's babies. So when you put all of this together, the farming, the ranching, the unbelievable teamwork, you really start to see the secrets behind their global domination. It really boils down to three main things. First, just unstoppable teamwork, where every single ant works for the good of the colony. Second, a flawless communication system that lets them coordinate millions of individuals without a single leader. And third, this incredible specialization that lets them adapt and find a way to make a living in almost any environment on Earth. From living rafts to walking food barrels, the world of ants really shows us the power of working together as one. And it kind of leaves you with a thought, right? In our own world, which is so often focused on the individual, what can we learn from these tiny creatures who have absolutely mastered the art of being the ultimate team players?